Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet. Welcome to this Friday's, January the 25th, sharing of Harmonize to Energize. My name is Terry Matthews, and it's been my privilege and pleasure to share aspects of the art of JIN SHIN JYUTSU self-help over the past 4.5, 5 years, and more recently, modalities, arts, crafts that have overlapping connections to JIN SHIN JYUTSU, and that's what today is really. It's a continuation of a discussion on calligraphy, Tao calligraphy, or just let's just call it calligraphy now, as is written in the Japanese form of the JIN SHIN JYUTSU Kanji. But for those of you that are completely brand new, and there might not be that many, but for those of you that are going to be watching the replay, just to give you a bit of history, JIN SHIN JYUTSU is an art of harmonizing life energy, or prana or chi, depending on your culture, as it moves through pathways in the body, 17 in total, I believe, and it can be guided by what we call safety energy locks. They're the diameter of the palm of your hand, 26 of them on the left, 26 on the right. 3 of those 26 are in each arm. And as energy moves through the body, this life force, it can be regulated not just by safety energy locks, but by our attitudes, our lifestyle, the weather, poisonous matter entering the body. In fact, Mary Burmeister, who brought JIN SHIN JYUTSU to the West from her master, Jiro Murai, has a whole paragraph on all the different things that may affect our life and in turn affect the energy field. And so with JIN SHIN JYUTSU, we're fortunate to have the palms of our hands, the back of our hands, the fingers. And by the way, if you're armless or handless, the energy field is always there. Homeopaths call it the etheric. It's basically the underlying unmanifest creative intelligence is another way of looking at the 0 point, the quantum field. That energy is there. And so you can connect. And for those of you without certain limbs, you would use your mind. You would find out where the locations of the energy locks were.
The next station is Marine Drive.
And then you would mute yourself, please. Yeah, it's helpful. I'm recording this. It's helpful if you come on muted. So as I mentioned, Mary Burmeister, or Mary Ino Burmeister, Japanese American from Seattle, learned about the art of JIN SHIN JYUTSU back in the Second World War years, the 40s, early 40s, from Master Jiro Murai. And he saw in her someone that could be a carrier of the message of JIN SHIN JYUTSU to the West. I think she was quite surprised when he said, I would like you to bring a gift back to America, given that America were at war with Japan at the time, which just goes to show that this master was transcending that and looking for harmony. Now, I haven't mentioned this before, but it occurred to me that might be a good idea to mention this, seeing as we are talking about the Kanji, which is the symbolic message, the calligraphic message of JIN SHIN JYUTSU, and any relationship to Mary. And I remembered about, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago when I was working at JIN SHIN JYUTSU Inc.'s headquarters in Scottsdale here in Arizona. I had the privilege of seeing some work that Mary had done, which has not, to my knowledge, ever been published. And it was calligraphy on rice paper with the most exquisite renditions of the organs I've ever seen and pathways. And it's delicately, and I don't think I'm admitting to anything that's going to cause an instant plan to rob them, but it's somewhere in a safe place. Let's put it that way. But honestly, I've seen calligraphy that monks had done. I'm from England, if it's not obvious. And I was actually living a long time in Canterbury, where there's a cathedral, the head of the Church of England. And that cathedral dates back to, I don't know, maybe the 10th century. And the monks used to do calligraphy. And there's beautiful examples of that with images there. And when I saw what Mary apparently had done, I was like, good Lord. And, I'm a ex-graphics student myself, so I kind of recognize reasonably well good lettering. And apparently, Jiro had his close followers, disciples, go to art college and learn. And I'm like, wow. I mean, Mary Burmeister is an incredible being anyway, and she had time to do this as well. It just goes to show to me how fortunate we are that Jiro Marai recognized in her such gifts. I mean, it's exquisite. I hope one day everyone will get to see that. She really loved Jin Shin Jyutsu, and it was a labor of love. So, anyway, I thought I'd mention that for anyone who's interested. So there is a link with calligraphy. Now, calligraphy, by and large, originates certainly in the East from the Han Dynasty, China. And a lot of things came from China, which were absorbed into Japanese culture. And, maybe some of you know this, that Master Marai actually studied traditional Chinese medicine, the Yellow Emperor as well. He was a synthesizer. He put together strands of Asian medical theory to create Jin Shin Jyutsu. But China was actually the root of a lot of this information. So maybe it's not difficult for us to connect to Dao calligraphy, which, as I said last week, was created by a living Chinese master, Dr. Master Zhigang Sha. So the connection is there. All right. So for a quick review, because I know there are some people that haven't done part 1 or 2, the replays are up. But let's have a look at the Kanji, the symbolic message of Jin Shin Jyutsu, and then begin the session. All right. So those of you that have been following this will know here's the kanji that most people would be familiar with on their books, in their books. And you can see 3 separate images, and each has a meaning. Jin, the person of awareness and compassion. Shin, the creator. God, perhaps, generator, operator, destroyer of the universe. Or, one step beyond, what Mary would have called 9th depth, the Tao, the no thing, the quantum field. Dr. Master Shah, in one of his teachings, said actually God and the Tao are the same thing. Anyway, and then below that, the image, jutsu, Japanese expression there, jutsu, meaning art.
Jutsu.
Yeah, jutsu, Jin Shin Jyutsu. I wouldn't panic, hold your thumb. Jitsu will do the job. It's just that jitsu has connections with martial arts. This is not a martial art. It's an art of person of awareness and compassion, art of the creator through a personal awareness and compassion. I do know some karate people that have learned JIN SHIN JYUTSU, and they can relate to various moves that they've learned and various positions in JIN SHIN. I should connect with that person and see if I can bring her on. She's a sensei of the very first person that introduced karate to America. And
Wow.
she's here in Scottsdale. Well, she was.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I could, yeah, I'd see if she could come on and talk to us. She's a very interesting person. So anyway, here you see the kanji, the Japanese calligraphy, but it's separated. There's space in between. Okay, that's fine. And the message of JIN SHIN, can you mute yourself? Which we would love to bring into our sessions, I believe, is that connection with the creator through our awareness and our compassion. If we're going to be an artist on behalf of the creator, we have to have that desire to show compassion and awareness to understand what that actually means. And in the early days, could you please mute yourself? And in the early days of JIN SHIN JYUTSU, when I first was at the office, there was a instructor who, before she laid her hands on anybody, she would just do this. She would connect with 6th depth, placing her palms together. Actually, Mary would do that a lot. So Mary always had that connection. Instructors, some of them always had that connection. So this is really what I'm looking at with an exploration of the kanji and showing you some alternative ways of connecting to that if you're more of an artistic nature, to embed it in your consciousness so that when you approach this art, either on others or yourself, that message is really entering the energy field of your heart. If you wanted to look at the way the division of the kanji is, you could say, just like the 4th energy field or the 4th chakra is halfway between the head and the feet in the chakra system, Shin, the creator, is halfway here. It's in the middle. That's where the compassion is most strongly felt. And if you don't feel it, then maybe you need to enhance your connection to your heart. Purify your heart. Okay? Still with me? Not yet? All right, good. Let's go to the next. Yeah, we also looked at, in numerology, what JIN SHIN JYUTSU adds up to. We saw that Jin was a 6, which is all about balance. And we saw that Shin here is the 5. That's all about regeneration. And Jutsu was an 8, going back to what we understand in JIN SHIN JYUTSU as the dot or the source, the first exhale from the 9th depth, if you like, the first breath focused into a dot of light. Although I have recently speculated that that dot of light is fundamentally sound. It's actually Om. And Mary did actually say it was the word. And in some biblical text, I think Genesis maybe, they talk about in the beginning was the word. Not at the beginning. At the beginning is the Tao, nothing. But in the beginning was the word. So the 8, which is often referred to still as light, could in fact be sound. Collectively together, we have a 19, which breaks down to a 10, which breaks down to a 1. That's oneness. That's the prime mover, the extreme height meeting the extreme depth. And this is what we're wanting to do in JIN SHIN JYUTSU. We want to connect with oneness through compassion the art with the creator for ourselves and therefore for others. Okay. And this is a classical version I found of the Kanji online. And this was painted, I believe, by a Japanese artist. Can you see that it's a little more connected than the original Kanji that I just showed? Or at least with a little addition here and there, you can connect it a lot easier because the strokes, particularly the middle and the last image, are connected stroke to stroke, more or less. So what can we do with the Kanji apart from look at it? Well, we can trace it, and we started doing that. And, you know, there's 3 other things that we can do as well. I mentioned 4 different ways of experiencing the Kanji.
Check it.
Can you mute yourself, please? The first one would simply be meditating with the Kanji in front of you. And with my penchant for using Mary Burmeister's 36 breaths, I think what I feel we could do today is we're going to do at least 3 sets of 9 using a different approach to absorbing the message of the Kanji. First, we'll just look at it, connect with it, heart to heart, soul to soul, and then do 9 exhalation inhalations. Did you all manage to print a copy of this? I hear, raise your hand if you didn't. Yeah, okay. At least it'll be up here. With the copy that you have, after we've meditated, I'm just going to suggest you simply place that Kanji on any area of your body where there's any discomfort. And that energy from the Kanji could be absorbed into that area to harmonize it at this level. And an additional little trick you can use is to actually chant JIN SHIN JYUTSU, or, because it's actually in reverse, JUTSU SHIN JIN, and see what effect that has on any part of your body that may feel some discomfort, some imbalance. And then the third technique is to actually point either at something on your body or someone who's asked for healing. This is how you can use it for helping others. And then place the palm of your hand, left hand, I suggest, on the Kanji itself. So you're drawing in through the 5 fingers, which those of you that have studied JIN SHIN JYUTSU will know that they all balance out the 5 elements. You're absorbing the energy of the Kanji into the 5 elements, into your body, and then out into your heart, and then out through the right hand. If you're left-handed, switch hands towards somebody or something, or place it again on something on your body that needs assistance. Don't worry if this is like too much to listen to all at once. I'll go through it slowly. And then finally, we will do what we started last week. We will trace with our fingers all together, thumb connecting to the 4 fingers. And we will trace following the directions in red. And the black dotted lines show the flow of connection, because Dr. Master Shah's Tao calligraphy is known as Ibiza. Ibiza means nothing more than oneness. We are connecting the dots so that we can experience oneness. which is really what JIN SHIN JYUTSU is ultimately all about. And we used our fingers last week, and I said I would show you what actually Dr. Shah thinks is the most powerful way of tracing. It's with your lower abdomen. And anyone that does Qigong will know this is known as the lower dantian. Just beneath the belly button, you can place your fingers like this in a downward pointing pyramid triangle. And literally you follow those red arrows, but you move with your lower abdomen. You're not doing it with just, your fingers anymore. And to help you, you can imagine a golden light ball, a Jin Dan. And this is said to be the collection of all the energy from heaven to earth at this point in your body. And the Taoists revere the lower Dan. It's said to be the source of all energy for immunity. It's said to be where the Tao enters the body at the back. So anyway, what we'll do then is we'll literally, with our abdomen, move and follow the line of the Kanji. It's actually a really good massage for all the organs in that part of the body, the intestines. And I think someone actually said to me once that they'd actually lost a bit of weight doing this because it's all that area where we sometimes hold on to excess. And when you exercise a little bit around the intestinal area, it will help you release any extra lard that you do not actually need. So anyway, is this all making some sense?
Nope.
Good.
No.
So I'm going to leave this one up because some of you didn't print it out. And let's just, well, you can look at it or you can close your eyes and look at it. What do I mean? You may have an active third eye and you may be able to see the energy emanating from the kanji. So if you do, when you close your eyes, you see light or something, that's great. That's seeing the energy. If you just want to look at it, that's great too. The energy will still come into your eyes and it will still offer healing. Can you please mute yourself? And now we're going to do 9 exhalation inhalations. Oh, it's a dog, I believe. Yep, yep, yep. Maybe it's a bird. And then the energy is going to come from safety energy lock 4 at the back of the head, down the front, through the 15, safety energy lock here in the hip line, through to the 7, the big toe, and then back from the 7, through the hip line, back to the 4, in a positive spiral. And we're going to do that 9 times. Whoever's unmuted, could you please mute yourself? I think I got you. So let us begin. 9 exhalation inhalations. Looking at it. Close your eyes looking at it. Here we go. Make sure your feet are firmly connected to the floor, to the ground, wherever you are. This energy has to go from your head to your toes and into the earth, and then up the back. Down the front, up the back. JIN SHIN JYUTSU 101. There's no particular way of breathing, i.e. in through the nose, out through the mouth. You just do what comes naturally to you. And just observe what you're feeling, where you're feeling, if you are. And allow the energy field of the art of the creator through compassionate aware human, embody in you, in your energy field. Let that message percolate to every cell in your body. Positive messages like this are more easily absorbed by the cells. People wonder why they get ill. If they listen to their message, that might be a clue. Positive messages work in a positive spiral, not so positive, anti-clockwise negative. Causes blockages. If you want to get blocked, stay negative. So when you reach the ninth exhalation, inhalation, just observe how you feel, where you feel, if you do. And be aware. Did it have a positive effect on you, on your energy? Did it feel good? Uplifting? Heartwarming? Heart-opening? Whatever it felt. Sometimes if we've been used to too many negative messages, it's hard to connect to the positive. So instead, all those negative messages start rebelling and fighting and saying, wait a minute, I'm used to being negative. What are you talking about? Worry about it. Breathe through it. Exhale, let it go. It's not helpful. It will not harmonize your energy field. it'll do the opposite. Okay, so now, those of you that got the printout, choose an area of your body. Or if you've just got the image on the screen, imagine it's floating or stuck on an area of your body that is bringing you some discomfort. Normally, the first place you think of is the place to go. And then just place the kanji on that. I'm lucky at the moment. I don't feel any kind of pain or anything, but I'm just going to stick it on the lower dantian because that's where the immune system energy accumulates, apparently. I'll just stick it there. And then we do 9 exhalation inhalations. We let go of what we don't need and we bring in that kanji field, that message. Here we go. So the energy is moving down the front in a positive spiral, and it's also moving up the back in a positive spiral, ideally. Where you have blockages, it may go into reverse. And that's one of the causes of dis-ease, reversing energy in the field. Jutsu Shin Jin. Jin Shin Jutsu. Art of the creator through an aware and compassionate human being. Allow that frequency and vibration, that message, to find its way into your cellular level. Feel the connection to the ground. Mother Nature will help you remove and recycle that energy which is no longer needed. And when you come to the 9th exhalation, inhalation, again, just observe, just witness how you're feeling, where you're feeling, if you are. And no judgment required. Be compassionate with yourself. Just simply observe whatever's happening or not. We're moving from polarized messages to oneness. So until those polarized messages harmonize, yeah, you'll have some odd thoughts perhaps here and there, dualistic thinking, but eventually they become one with the message. And the cells receive the message. And that message of connection to the Creator through compassion will strengthen your immune system, boost all your cells, allow the life force to move more congruently. Okay, the third technique, we can place right or left hand on the Kanji, and then with the other hand, it's not on the Kanji, place it either on an area on your body which is still maybe feeling a little uncomfortable, or point it at something in your room, maybe a plant, an animal, whatever, or imagine someone who may have said to you, "Can you send me a blessing?" Do that. And we'll do that 9 exhalation, inhalations. Just follow your breath and allow the energy to transfer from one hand, up the arm, through your heart, down through the other hand, and towards whatever, whoever you're aiming that energy at. Begin. Allow yourself to be filled with the content of this message. The light and sound of this message. JIN SHIN JYUTSU. JIN SHIN JYUTSU. JYUTSU SHIN JIN JYUTSU SHIN JIN JYUTSU SHIN JIN. And when you reach the ninth exhalation, inhalation, just again observe. Did it feel any different when the chant went in reverse? Technically, as it's understood, art of the creator starting with the jutsu, did it feel different? Did it feel more comfortable, less comfortable, or the same? Just be aware. Because it's with those kinds of observations that you can utilize this energy. So before we do the final step, which is the tracing of the kanji, anyone got any observation that they're wanting to share at this point, how that felt for them? I don't know why my hand's up. All right.
I'll just say that the organicness, the way that the strokes are so organic, made them easy to translate into my body.
Is that Anne?
Yes.
Hi. Have you been practicing since last week?
I actually was working towards it. I was doing more Tai Chi and thinking about it, and I didn't get to this stage, but I like the idea very much.
Great. All
It's
right,
very,
so
very healing. The whole idea of healing in the Dantian with movement with our body, you know, that's just a brilliant, that's just, you know, it's almost like taking all of exercise and putting it into that.
yeah, I feel like Mary Zhigang is a genius. And this is a very helpful technique that he's introduced into our consciousness. So what we're going to do is just to make it easy and just to resonate with end of a cycle, beginning of a new, 9 times, we're going to trace the Kanji with our abdomen. And this is, according to Dr. Shah, the single most powerful way to absorb calligraphic energy. And he's got many calligraphies. So here we are. You can stand or you can sit, whichever's easy for you. The standing is optimum. Just place your fingers together, index and thumb like this in a downward triangle pointing towards the reproductive area just beneath the belly button. And you can imagine a golden ball there if you wish, or you can just feel what's happening there. And we're going to move in the direction of the red arrows. We're going to connect where the black dotted lines are. And please do not worry if, oh, I should have done that. Just keep going. Just move through whatever you thought was a mistake. The energy knows where it needs to go. You just slowed it down a little. Here we go. Down, starting to the left on the exhale there. Then moving to the right. And it's like you're dancing with yourself. Go down the black dotted line. I'm on the second image, the shin. It'll tell you where you're a little stiff, which may be a good red flag. And then we go down to the third image there. I devised the way the direction is on this map because it flowed for me. But when you're doing this, if you feel a different approach to one of the strokes works better for you, use it. You're not me. But it is important to connect left to right, exhale to inhale. So always begin on the left. You can experiment going in reverse, starting with the bottom image, where you just ended, and then going to the second image. And in that case, you're going right to left. You might want to know how that feels. No pressure though, folks. Just do what feels comfortable. Just play. And then eventually you may notice, as I just did, your lower abdomen feels like it really wants to rock and roll. And then rock and roll. If it's been a long time since you rocked and rolled, then this is a really good way of getting back. And I'm speeding up a bit, but the guidance actually is slowly. This is where the tortoise is more relevant than the hare. But there may be points during the tracing where you feel freer than in other positions, and you might become the hare. But generally, this is tortoise work. It gives you time to absorb like a sponge. And I'm connecting from that J shape in the bottom image, and I'm going around to the left and back up that way. So I'm connecting bottom to top. I didn't actually map that in. You can map that in if you wish. So this is oneness calligraphy, Ibiza, the way it's flowing. Keep your knees as flexible as possible, meaning it's probably comfortable to bend them as you're moving on the downward strokes. Don't be too rigid with the knees. Knees need to be flexible. Many energy pathways go through the knees, to the side, both sides, and underneath to regenerate the body. So keep those areas as flexible and as fluid as possible. Supports the lungs, the breath of life. And this can become like a preamble to a seated meditation, or it can be, like Anne is talking Tai Chi, it can be just a Tai Chi movement, not just a Tai Chi movement. And if you find other calligraphies with messages that you like greatest love, greatest compassion, then learn how to trace them. That message will start sinking into your cellular level, and you'll absorb that message. If at any time you feel enough already, I'm done, just sit quietly. Close your eyes if you want, and just absorb the energy that way. Okay, I'm drawing it to a close now. Okay. And of course, you remember from last week, you could have held all your fingers together with your thumb and then just traced it that way. So if this abdominal exercise was a little too intense for you, Just remember there's many other ways of doing this in terms of connecting to the energy. And if you want to trace without the abdomen, use your fingers. Just like this. And you're connecting to all the energy pathways that the end or begin in the fingers, and the harmonization of the attitudes which the fingers relate to, the worry, the fears, the frustrations, the sadnesses, the anxieties. So it's a pretty amazing process when you think about all the connections, all the relationships, I think. All right. All right. Ta-da. Oh, interesting. That hand went up automatically. They must have put some code in here that it said it will cancel when I stop talking. Interesting. So, anyway, how was that? Anyone?
I will. I'm Anne.
Okay.
The Tai Chi that I was taught was to, this is how it relates to Tai Chi, is actually it's going back from Kanji to Tai Chi instead of from Tai Chi anyway. So I was taught to really focus with the direction of my Dan Chen and move from that. And that is how that controls the entire movement. But sometimes with all the arm waving and everything, I forget about that. And so I'm not that I wave my arms, but just that it's hard to concentrate on it sometimes. So this really helped me to focus on what my Dan Chen was doing, which is going to bring back to my Tai Chi and really improve it. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. And for those that, like Anne, have been enjoying this process and relating to it, the book, as I mentioned last week, that this is largely based on, not completely based on, but largely, is Tao Calligraphy by Dr. and Master Zhigang Sha. And I'll put that in the chat room. Did anyone notice that, by and large, they felt more of a connection with their whole body once they started doing the Dantian work? Like it felt as though everything was emanating to all the limbs, every area of their body, as well as going maybe to the cellular level, or not? Did anyone get that experience? It's
Yes.
not a must-have, but I'm just curious.
Yes. Yes.
If you practice like anything else, you may experience that. And that is bringing us or bringing you to oneness. That's it. You will suddenly feel a completion left and right of your body as you've been moving down this pathway. Suddenly you may feel, whoop, there's no left and right. It's just one.
Mm.
And the message has arrived. It's absorbed itself into your energy field and you've become at one with it.
Yeah.
So whenever there's a message that you may have difficulty in accepting, but you don't mind rolling your belly and rocking and rolling, look at the message. Maybe if it's a calligraphy, of course, you can trace it. Otherwise, just chant the message and start rolling this abdominal area and see if that helps you absorb the message. So there's many, many ways that we can approach absorbing energy fields. And the key is choose to absorb positive messages. You may say, I don't feel like absorbing a positive message. Your body will love you for it. Your cells will go whoopee. So, you know, if any of those exercises serve for you as a preamble to meditation or after meditation, or you can see the value in any part of your life where you felt stuck. I remember Anita Willoughby and others who were, you know, instructors of JIN SHIN who were dancers. If you feel stuck, move. It moves the energy. I mean, Safety Energy Lock number 1 is the prime mover. That's why we get into pain. The understanding is because we've allowed the energy to get stuck.
Yeah.
So turn on your favorite music, whatever that may be, if you like to dance or you like to sing. Do anything that moves the energy. And, you know, certainly in the work I've done with ancestral healing, which in JIN SHIN JYUTSU is a left side connection, the exhale. Sometimes we've stuffed our feelings and we've not really said what we want to say. And sometimes we actually wanted to use a cuss word. Don't get hung up about it. Say whatever it is that's trapped in there to let it go. Exhale it, you know, because the longer it stays unsaid, untransformed, the more it may accumulate into more and more blockages. So do yourself a favor. Don't be frightened to cuss now and again. Quietly say it or yell it. Go out into the forest, say to the trees, excuse me, do you mind if I just let rip a bit because I'm feeling really bad? And the trees and the ants, you know, Lord of the Rings, they'll probably go, oh, another human being needing to connect with us. Has anyone ever tried hugging a tree and saw how they felt?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Mother Nature serves us through all the elements. And the tree is the wood element, which in JIN SHIN JYUTSU relates to liver and gallbladder. Why do people get really angry? They need to release their liver or gallbladder energy. Go to a tree and say, hey, you know what? I feel really angry. Can you help me take this energy all the way down to earth? Can I hold on to you? And the tree will embrace you with its branches and leaves and lean into it and feel it. Tell you, each time I've done that, it's unbelievable. Mother Nature has got every answer,
Yes.
every solution to every difficulty we think we have.
Yes.
So, you know, in the words of a 60s or 70s song, never turn your back on Mother Earth. Unless you want to lean back on a tree, you know, whatever. So thank you, everybody. I hope that's been interesting, useful, and thank you for participating. If you didn't get the chart for some reason of the Kanji, I can send it to you. Otherwise, you can print it out if you wish and use it. Next week, I'll be with a guest. She's been with us before, but I'm going to start a series of conversations with practitioners, some instructors, and we're going to start by looking at a JIN SHIN JYUTSU lifestyle. And anyone that has studied JIN SHIN JYUTSU, text 2, boom, go to page 2 and look at paragraph 2, the middle paragraph. It says, When the 12 individualized body function energy is in balance with the universal harmonizing energy, there is perfect harmony within and without the body. However, this perfect harmony may be interrupted by daily eating habits, working habits, hereditary characteristics, too dry or too damp living environment, weather conditions, mental and emotional anxieties, accidents causing bodily injuries, or by injection of poisonous matter into the body. Well, we won't be bringing any poisonous matter into the presentation. However, we're going to begin to converse about those different aspects of our lifestyle that may enhance Jin Shin Jyutsu as opposed to impede it, or look at what we might be doing that might be impeding it. Because Mary Burmeister never said that Jin Shin Jyutsu was the answer to everything. No. She made that kind of statement to open our awareness that yes, it is a harmonizing art, but why did we get there in the first place?
Mm.
So let's look at why we might have got there and then relate it to Jin Shin Jyutsu self-help and say, oh yeah, maybe I need to look at my diet, food. The anxieties is the thoughts. Okay, weather. What kind of Jin Shin Jyutsu flows will help us connect and relate to the weather without getting thrown off? So it's a lifestyle, and we'll start the discussion next week, and you may join in. We'll, throw it out to the audience, whoever's here. If you have any insights yourself in your day-to-day lifestyle, and how Jin Shin Jyutsu has integrated, and maybe, do I need to do something else to prevent what has accumulated? Those kinds of questions. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of the day, evening, night, wherever you are. Thank you again, and I'll put a recording up, 24, 48 hours of replay, and see you same time, same place next week, he says.
Thank you.